This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Whatever team Fee is on has a chance to win a championship.
I'm Christina Williams, host of the podcast, In Case You Missed It with Christina Williams. The WNBA playoffs are here, and I've got the inside scoop on everything from key matchups and standout players to the behind-the-scenes moments you won't find anywhere else.
It's really, really hard to be the champions, but we have to remember how it feels and embrace the new challenge that we have.
So listen to In Case You Missed It with Christina Williams, an iHeart Women's sports production in partnership with Deep Blue Sports and Entertainment on iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Play around with a bad football team, bad things happen.
You lucky suckers.
Vikings.
Shall we begin?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the House of Pain. This is 9 to noon at the Minnesota Vikings facility in Eagan. It is our weekly stop where today we have the privilege and the honor and the opportunity on a weekly basis to chat with Minnesota Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell. That'll take place at about 11 a.m. In the business, we call it X's and O's with Kevin O'Connell. X's and O's with KO. The scribe precedes him. Welcome to the House of Pain, where millions of dollars in assets and future commodities limp up and down the superhighway hallway adjacent to the field house and the TCO radio studio where yours truly and mad producer currently are executing our toil. The weekly wounded into the Cincinnati game include, now, we've added to the laundry list, ladies and gentlemen. Running back Aaron Jones has joined the chat known as the laundry list with a swoon over his hammy. And quarterback J.J. McCarthy and an ankle ailment also on the laundry list. Carson Wentz from Bismarck, North Dakota will be your quarterback Sunday. And Jordan Mason and probably Xavier Scott, your 1-2 punch at running back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the House of Pain. So let's play some hyperbolic or hyper-accurate. Good morning, Nordo.
Good morning.
Talkback's next segment, if you'd like to respond to some of the scenarios 9 to noon is about to present, or lament the loss of J.J. McCarthy for 2 weeks or 4 weeks or who knows how long. Or if you would like to ride some vibes of what you were thinking about the Minnesota Vikings football program through 2 games, Free iHeartRadio app. Well, actually, Nordo explains it better than me, so 3-2.
Yeah, free iHeartRadio app. You already have the Fan as a preset, of course. So while you're listening to the Fan, you hit that little microphone. Give us up to your best 30 seconds.
What kind of a microphone is it?
It would be your phone microphone. And you hit that little icon,
No,
and then...
it's a baby mic.
It's a baby mic.
There's a little baby microphone down there, isn't it?
I'm sorry to leave you hanging.
Welcome to the House of Pain.
It is the House of Pain, and we are your spot 9 to noon weekdays to emote. There is a Davenport. It's way too early in the season for this sort of thing, so it's still fresh. It's still super comfortable. No holes, no scratches. Plastic's good, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that's what the talkback feature is for as we wind our way through myriad injuries. Kid QB off a weird Sunday night performance that was nothing short of dreadful into week 3, into Carson Wentz and the Bismarck kid, Max Brosmer, maroon and gold fans clamoring that actually Wentz is usurped by the emergency QB. All of that is in vogue with the talkback feature, so send them off.
Hyperbolic or hyper accurate, and here they are. Hyperbolic and or hyper accurate questions / scenarios. First, for Mad Producer. Secondly, my opinion if I choose to opine. And thirdly, Talkback's next segment, if anything tickles your proverbial fancy. Carson Wentz will lead the Minnesota Vikings to 3 consecutive wins, which would be this weekend against Joe Butt, Shamar Stepp. Well, they got their own House of Pain taking place down Queen City Way. But Cincinnati.
They beat Jake Browning this weekend.
Yep.
Wow.
Cincinnati in town this weekend. Then you got a couple of road games across the pond. One in Dublin against A-Raj. The other at Tottenham Hotspur against the Calm. And through all of that, into the bye. Carson Wentz will lead the Minnesota Vikings to 3 consecutive victories into said respite and hold the quarterback job the rest of the season. Hyperbolic or hyper accurate?
Well, you know what? 9 to noon, the tried and true, the amount of pride that we take and put into being accurate, reporting, being first, just being right all the time. Yeah. You know how important that is to us.
Well, the first one was accurate. The final 3 would indicate indeed pride does go before the fall.
That is as hyperbolic as it gets, PA. And it's not even under the idea that Carson Wentz and the Minnesota Vikings, that they couldn't go and win these 3 games. I'm rooting for them starting this Sunday at noon, and I think the Vikings should be game in this game. And then you got a couple of neutral site bits across the... how many times have the Vikings lost when they take that big trip across the pond?
0.
So it is very possible that the Vikings could head into the bye week with 3 consecutive wins. But here's the thing, though.
Mm-hmm.
This is about JJ. This is about the long term. And you want to talk about hyperbolic. We were texting about this yesterday, PA. And what did I say? What did I say to you?
You want that shared on the radio?
I said that I would rather lose with J.J. McCarthy than win with Carson Wentz.
And I called you a fool.
You did indeed call me a fool. And the reason that I say that, though, is the investment that we have put behind J.J. We need to know whether it is good or if the milk has gone bad. And so winning games is great. Want him to win every game. Want him to win a ring. All of those things. And looking forward, again, to rooting for Carson Wentz.
What changed?
Well, what changed in me?
Well, the hyperbolic nature of emoting settled, and then you recognized, you know what? The announcer just called me a fool. So I'm going to think about that for a second, because he has access to the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings right in front of my face.
Yeah.
And it's a long shot, but there's a chance he presents that to the head coach of the football team with me in the same room.
I hope you do. I can't wait for him to come in. And maybe, you know what we do? We go to break a little bit late. And so we have the head coach chill for 90 seconds.
Yeah.
And then we can present that together as a team, as a 9 to noon team to the head coach.
No, I'm off that team. I prefer the Vikings win every game with whomever.
And yes, in the end, I want him to win every game. We need to know if J.J. McCarthy is going to grow.
Oh, we will.
And will emerge and all of those things. But this kid, drafted a year ago, the entire 2024 season is taken away from him. Finally, the build up to the 2025 debut, he plays 2 games and he's on the shelf again. Mm-hmm. I can't turn this into another, and albeit I think he's more talented and prepared for the NFL than a Trey Lance was, but from Trey Lance's injuries at North Dakota State, at one point he hadn't played a meaningful game of football for like 2.5 years.
Let it out.
This can't be that situation. He needs the reps and experience to know whether our investment is good, or again, if the milk's gone bad, we need to know those things in 2025.
Correct.
And so yes, it's definitely it's hyper accurate that Wentz could go with this team and win the next 3 games into the bye.
Okay,
that means we're 4-1 and we're feeling good. But I think it's hyperbolic to insist that potentially he would be the quarterback for the rest of the season. At the latest, I want to come out of the bye week, Philly in town, with number 9 emerging from the Dragon in the fog at U.S. Bank Stadium. I need to see McCarthy.
What if Wentz goes for an average of 295 a game, 2.5 touchdowns a game, zero interceptions, runs away from sacks, and clearly knows how the plays are supposed to be run?
I mean, this is a game by game conversation. Yeah. I'm standing tall on it. I think
you want to see JJ again at some point this season.
I absolutely, and it's not just I want to. I feel like as a franchise, the long term, you have to see McCarthy again this season.
So you say it's too hyperbolic to say Wentz leads the team to 3 wins in a row into the bye and holds the quarterback job the rest of the season.
I think in this setting, it is hyperbolic to say that.
The Minnesota Vikings, hyperbolic or hyperactive? And by the way, you can respond to all of these hyperbolic or hyper-accurate scenarios and queries via the iHeart Audio talkback machine. That's going to take place next segment. The Vikings will finish the 2025 season with a losing record.
Oh, man.
Welcome to the House of Pain.
Is there it just limping in, being on the fence, lukewarm doesn't make you money. It's got to be one side or the other.
Thank you.
The trouble that I'm having right now is that it is neither hyperbolic,
play from the heart,
nor is it accurate. At this stage, given what we've seen, the injury issues that continue to emerge, and the fact that this schedule post-bye, when we get to see number 9 again, is incredibly difficult. I am leaning more towards the idea of that being hyper-accurate.
Hyper-accurate that they will finish with a losing record.
I think if things continue to go this way with the injury issues.
Perfect.
And if Wentz does not win 3 in a row into the bye week, and you do come out and it's Philly and it's the Kitties, we got Baltimore around the corner. Wow, what a train that thing looks like.
Hey. Chargers undefeated.
You're looking at a situation where it's more accurate than it is hyperbolic, given what we have seen thus far from the kid QB, 7 of 8 quarters, leaving a bitter taste in the mouth.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to X's and O's with Kevin O'Connell. I'm Paul Allen. Head coach of the Minnesota Vikings joins us now. The on-site producer is Eric Nordquist. We have a Tuesday talkback coming up for the coach shortly, but first, the guy across from you, Mad Producer, Nordo, producer of 9 to Noon.
Yeah.
About 2 hours ago, KO, he predicted you guys would finish the season with a losing record. What do you think of that, Mr. Head Coach? And that's X's and O's after one question. Kevin, come back.
First he said that he'd rather lose with McCarthy than win with Wentz, and then he predicted your team's going to be under 500.
The assumption from yours truly when I was receiving all of that hyperbolic minutia yesterday is that you were running a bit. Hyperbolic or hyper-accurate, number 3, and here they are. The Green Bay Packers will lose no more than 2 games this season. The Green Bay Packers will lose no more than 2 games this season.
Yeah, that's okay.
Let's start here. Brett, you with us?
I'm listening.
Brett Blakemore, noted Green Bay Packer devotee from down Iowa way. Hyperbolic or hyper-accurate? The Green Bay Packers will lose no more than 2 games this year.
I would say slightly hyperbolic, but I will say I don't know if I see a loss until the Eagles November 10th. I mean,
That's exactly what I was looking for, big boy.
Browns, Cowboys, a hurt Bengals, Cardinals, Steelers, Panthers. Where's the loss there in that stretch?
Jeez, okay, so 4-0 into the bye. No Burrow. Yeah, that's at home. Arizona's weird. A-Rod, yeah, sure. Yeah, they're really going to go back there and lose to A-Rod. Holy cow. I'm sorry I brought that one up.
Oh, and then they kick off the month of November with the Panthers at Lambeau.
I mean, seriously, did your team finish 3-14 last year with this schedule? I mean, like you always hear about teams that get first place schedules. I mean, I'm looking at a last place schedule right here. Damn.
Yeah, I still think it's hyperbolic. You're looking at a situation where they could in Detroit, you split with the Kitties right after the opener and the W there.
Oh, maybe
splitting with the Purple. They have a right to lose at Lambeau to a team that I don't know how they lose a game this season. November 10th against Philly. I'm saying it's hyperbolic. I mean, they're sitting in that potentially as good as they've been. I'm thinking 4 or 5 losses for them by the time they get to the playoffs.
even if it's hyperbolic, Paul, because they're going to lose 3. I mean, 14-3 is still badass. Let's be honest with each other. Hyperbolic or hyper accurate? Jordan Love will be the National Football League's most valuable player. Now he's averaging 240 passing yards per game. He has 4 touchdowns and 0 picks. He's completing 66% of his throws, and his yards per attempt is a gaudy 9.1.
That's nice.
Hyperbolic or hyper accurate with Patty Mahomes, who's forever one of the top 3 favorites to win this award. Patrick Mahomes is 0-2. So he's kind of out of the MVP related chat at this moment, but it doesn't mean he can't become resurgent. Hyperbolic or hyper accurate, Mr. Nordquist? Jordan Love will be the National Football League's MVP.
It's not even a knock against Jordan Love, who's had 2 good games. I need to see 15 more, obviously. I don't think he can compete when the dollars are down, whether it's Josh Allen or it is Lamar Jackson. You mentioned Mahomes. They might be 0-2 right now, but if that worm turns to the right direction and you see him battling and they find their way atop the AFC West, he's going to garner the votes. I think it's super hyperbolic that you could put Jordan Love in an MVP spot.
Speaking of the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, 916, good morning. Welcome to the House of Pain, Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center, home to your beaten and battered and quasi-beleaguered Minnesota Vikings. Welcome to the House of Pain. At 0-2, the Kansas City Chiefs will miss the playoffs. Now, they have 7 before the bye, and here they are. At the Giants, Baltimore at home, at Jacksonville, Detroit at Arrowhead, Vegas at Arrowhead, Washington at Arrowhead, then at Buffalo, then poof, it's the bye.
Wow. I'm still saying that's hyperbolic. So you remember, and again, of all the things you've called me a fool about, whether it was yesterday with J.J. McCarthy, or maybe even earlier prior to the season starting when I had this opinion on the Denver Broncos going to the AFC title game. I believe that this will be the break in the streak of AFC title games for the Kansas City Chiefs. I just don't know if they have enough tools in the bucket to go to work and continue to do all the great things that we've seen out of Mahomes and company. With that said, I still think, even as muddy as the AFC can be, I think it's absolutely preposterous that the Chiefs would actually not just fall out of grace in terms of making the title game, but to miss the playoffs entirely. They don't have Worthy. They don't have Rashee Rice. This is a team that elevates themselves and ramps up into the postseason, which is why they're consummate champions and championship contenders. It might be the most hyperbolic thing that we've talked about this morning in terms of them actually missing the playoffs. But I do believe their reign of title games is coming to an end this particular season.
Okay, well, Sunday at noon, the Kansas City Chiefs host the undefeated LA Rams. A very tricky beat.
Yeah.
A very, very tricky beat. And then, by the way, after that, they go to Tampa Bay. another tricky undefeated beat. Then they host Denver. Then they're at the Giants. These are the Eagles.
Whew.
These are the Eagles.
Oh, the Eagles we're talking about.
I apologize.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, the Eagles host the Rams, are at Tampa Bay, host Denver, at the Giants, at the Vikings, host the Giants. And then they're bye. Out of the bye, they're at Lambeau Field.
Yeah.
And here's the question. The Philadelphia Eagles, hyperbolic or hyperaccurate? Will they go undefeated?
Yeah, it's tough because...
Will they go undefeated? Because with Matthew Stafford in town, they plan to stay that way this week. And
I'm curious, will they not go undefeated? Not because of who they're playing on the field. Rams, by the way, jacked around with Cam Ward and the Titans for way too long this last weekend before they pulled away.
But you know what? That might be a thing because same thing happened in the Mile Get High City, where the defense and Cam Ward and the way they're slowing the game down.
Okay.
Slowing the game down. We don't want to make it a track meet. We're not ready to make it a track meet with the Cane at quarterback, but one day we will be. So they slow these suckers down to keep it close, and they're taking L's, but they're a trickier beat, like the New York Giants are a trickier beat than I thought each team would be into the season. And good morning.
Good morning. I think it's hyperbolic only because we are predicting a team would do something that only, whether it was the 72 Dolphins and Mercury Morris on a yearly occasion, popping champagne bottles, or it was the 07 Patriots who were undefeated, of course, until Eli took them down. So I think it's hyperbolic in that regard. The one thing, though, about the Eagles, most talented, Eagles deepest from a quality perspective. They're the team that will implode on their own. Like I think when we look at this team in December, you'll see potentially a loss or two on the schedule, and it won't be because they just were thoroughly beaten, that they were thoroughly handled, outcoached, outmuscled. It'll be A.J. Brown pouting. It'll be a significant mistake by a Jalen Hurts. Like this team has some implosion to them. You mentioned Tampa Bay. The way this team just found their way to two different losses over the last 3 or 4 years, to the Tampa Bay Bucks in particular in the playoffs. Tampa's a tough team. Bowles is a good coach. But this is a team, they started 10-1 one year and lost like the final 5 games to limp their way into the wild card. This is a team, and by the way, Jalen Hurts, with all the tush pushes and things. We saw him, I think, get a concussion on a rushing attempt last year. Maybe that was against Washington. I forget exactly who it was against. This is a team that, not because of anything that we do, will lose a game or two, but the conversation will be around them having some weird mental odd moment infighting because A.J. Brown's not getting the ball, or some odd injury that keeps them from going 17-0.
Talkback's next segment on any of the hyperbolic or hyper-accurate scenarios, if you are so inclined to opine, or if you want to chat about the news about J.J. McCarthy's ankle, and he's going to miss a couple, maybe through the bye week. That's there for you via the free iHeart audio app. Even though iHeart Radio calls it iHeart Radio, we're going to call it the iHeart Audio app. And you know where to find that baby microphone so you can join us here. We welcome you into the House of Pain. Anything Minnesota Vikings related via the talkbacks, this will be your spot. But you're welcome also to leave one for Kevin O'Connell if you have that desire. Say your name, where you're from, and address it to the head coach. So, for instance, hey, Kevin, it's Paul from Eden Prairie. Blah, 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 blah. Then ask your question. Because it's Tuesday, and we are at the House of Pain. The head coach joins about 90 minutes from now, and we like to drop fan-related talkbacks in for head coach Kevin O'Connell. So all of that's in front of you. Unpack it, dive into the weeds, and do 9 to noon a solid. Why do we need a solid done? Because millions of dollars in assets and future commodities are limping up and down the super highway hallway adjacent to where we're doing this radio show and the field house. With Eric Nordquist, I'm Paul Allen. Brett Blakemore guides the Great Ship Love Covenant at FM 100.3 KFAN. All of that is courtesy of TimberTech and TimberTech.com. Your talkbacks are next, followed by Vikes Bites. And then Ben Gessling, the scribe, covers the team for the Star Tribune. We will open the doors for the scribe, and he, too, will enter the House of Pain. Good morning.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you want to get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Would you guys consider anything less than a championship to be a failure from this year?
I wouldn't say anything is a failure, especially because we all grow every day. Obviously, the goal is a championship. There's no doubt in that, and that's the goal. We want to win a championship.
I'm Christina Williams, host of the podcast, In Case You Missed It with Christina Williams. The WNBA playoffs are here, and I've got the inside scoop on everything from key matchups and standout players to the behind-the-scenes moments you won't find anywhere else.
It's really, really hard to be the champions, but we have to remember how it feels and embrace the new challenge that we have.
For all the biggest stories in women's basketball, plus exclusive interviews with the game's brightest stars.
So to be here, I think it's one that we definitely don't take for granted. But we also know, that's just one stop along the way, and we're hoping to, make a run.
So listen to In Case You Missed It with Christina Williams, an iHeart Women's sports production in partnership with Deep Blue Sports and Entertainment on iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcasts.
I'll be right back.
Get ready to feast. The Friday football feast rolls on to Buffalo Wild Wings Maplewood this Friday. Drop in as PA gets you set for Sunday's showdown with the Bengals. Plus your chance to win great prizes all morning. Doors open at 8 a.m. Get all the details, KFAN.com. Keep your calendar.
PA Nordo, Thomas from Chanhassen here. We all know us Vikings fans are a little delusional, so I got a delusional take for you here. We all remember 2017, what happened with the Philadelphia Eagles. Carson Wentz on his way to an MVP year. Nick Foles comes in as the backup and wins the Super Bowl. Is it time for Carson Wentz to finalize that career circle and win a Super Bowl as a backup quarterback? What do you think?
Well, I like your line of thinking because it ends with the Minnesota Vikings having a party with the Lombardi.
Yeah.
And the scenario that you laid out, it's fair to lay out that scenario. There is one metaphorical fly in the proverbial ointment. Is young J.J. McCarthy through two, in no way, with all due respect, is en route to an MVP award. So that would be the difference there, is like Carson's tearing it up, and Carson was tearing it up. I think that was his second season. And then we had a fateful late Sunday afternoon at the L.A. Coliseum where Carson Wentz went lunging for the end zone, touchdown, Eagles, and he tore his ACL. Now, he's a tough guy. He might be hockey raised like J.J. McCarthy, but they raised him tough in Bismarck. Wentz returned to that game and played on the ACL. But then after that, and there's your dagger, Johnny. But what's interesting here, I'm going to bring it up with Kevin O'Connell when he joins for X's and O's on the vast and ever-expanding KFAN Minnesota Vikings audio network. One of the takes is going to be that, or one of the questions, Carson Wentz and center Ryan Kelly, who may play this weekend, they were battery mates for 17 of them in 2021 for the Indianapolis Colts. Now, that's 2021. That ain't that long ago. Carson had 27 touchdowns and just 7 interceptions and a yards per attempt of 7, which ain't bad. So Wentz has done it before. He has dramatically more touchdowns than interceptions in his career, I believe. So the scenario was fun, but there was one fly in the ointment there. So what's next?
Dane here from Waconia. One of the things that I think I'm going to be bothered by Carson Wentz coming in is that the offense is likely going to be simplified for him, having not been in this covenant for very long. My argument will be, if Carson has success, why have we not simplified the playbook for J.J. McCarthy to enable his success?
Thank you for the talk back. Very kind of you to join 9 to noon and drop that covenant bomb on us, which we always prefer, because this is not a radio show. It's a love covenant. I'm actually going to flip it a little bit. I think the playbook is quite simplified for J.J. McCarthy. I actually think you could probably take off whatever governor may be on it. And I'm not saying that there's like a governor on it to keep it at 20 miles per hour with training wheels. But in watching back all these plays, I see guys run down the field, but I see 6 or 7 with them basically every time. And I generally see a linebacker or a safety between the hash marks in the middle of the field, 10, 15, 20 yards away. Why? Because he's a hybrid, clouding the initial judgment of a young quarterback who he's in his first full season, but only playing a second regular season game, as the Love Covenant has learned. So it's, if J.J. McCarthy were going to be the quarterback this weekend, I had a question in the Toll story for Kevin O'Connell that was going to address that, the choice cuts and the prime cuts and what you're able to unfurl while you're raising a kid quarterback. Now, it may not take place initially, but Carson Wentz, having played for the LA Rams a couple of years ago, he's going to come into this thing knowing a lot more about the end result of the concept than like even McCarthy when he first got here, Darnold when he first got here. Cousins Cousins picks up on things quickly, but he's played in offenses with, middle zone concepts and just a bunch of things that are too difficult to explain. So I think, Wentz, having been with McVay a couple of years ago, I think he's going to see the concept, see the play, know what the end result is. And, I get that. All right, what's it sound like? So therefore, you just repetitively have to figure out what it sounds like, what the call's like, what's the key word in here, what are the changes off of it and things like that, despite only being here 3 weeks. But it is a very fair question. I can't imagine Wentz would have as much of the voluminous nature of the playbook available to McCarthy, memorized at this stage of the equation. But he probably knew Sunday night or early Monday, this is your job. And it's your job for 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 games. So knowing the heart of Carson Wentz and the level of care and the work ethic that everybody around the NFL, Andy Reid does not put you on his team like he did last year with the Chiefs if you're a slacker. If you're a guy who's not going to do it the right way behind Patrick Mahomes. McVay does not compensate you if you're a slacker. O'Connell does not compensate you if you're a slacker. So he'll put in the time, but it just may be a new form of patience.
Hey, Lordo, PA.
Hold on, stop that. Start it again. Hold on.
Oh, my.
Is this Farming Friday? This is your combine leader, the fan.
I don't know if I can even.
I think he fell over the dishwasher like Charch did.
Yeah, that's a little harsh.
Let's give it a try. It might be the best question we've ever gotten.
That Max Rosenberg becomes the next drop 30. Trey Lance, the 3rd overall pick, goes down. Back up quarterback.
Gotcha. Thank you. Yep. If you heard Kevin O'Connell's press conference yesterday, and if you've heard Kevin O'Connell talk about Max Brosmer, the wide-eyed kid, he's quite high on him. And, What I've liked about a few things that O'Connell has said, either pregame into the sneaky contraption or via press conference mode, is I actually sense that there is a little bit of surprise. Because generally speaking, the NFL, the beloved shield, can be your arrogance leader, where people can be surprised, but then they're like, are you kidding me? I don't care if he was undrafted. That means 31 other people are stupider than me. We knew this was going to take place every step. Well, come on.
Yeah.
O'Connell has refreshingly opened up in that, this was a long shot, but the long shot is hit, and things that go into it. So there's a level of surprise, or a level of, let's call it, prideful surprise, in that you put a lot of work into the guy and it worked. But Brosmer becoming the next Brock Purdy, I had to think that one out a little bit for now. Nordo and yours truly and the 9 to noon cast, we are avoiding all the strays that are taking place at the House of Pain. Because when you peek out at the superhighway, which is a hallway adjacent to a TV and radio studio, and a field house, there are millions of dollars of assets hobbled, and they're hobbling up and down the superhighway hallway. We're just trying to avoid all of the pain related to the House of Pain while we execute our toil.
Hey, this is Adam from Burnsville. I was just a big fan of the show, but I gotta say, we gotta give JJ his shot in the sun, man. We've been doing the same thing and banging our head against the wall with these fill-in quarterbacks. I don't want another Darnold 14-1 disappointment. I want to invest in this team and have a big future. Go like JJ McCarthy. Go like Vikings.
It. Like it, yeah. I'm with you, man. Nordo's with you too. This is the A topic with the Minnesota Vikings is drafting this quarterback, taking a House of Pain related L. Actually, in a season he was not going to play. It was Darnold's money into the Giants game. Darnold responded. Despite the Jacksonville game where the team didn't score any touchdowns, go Parker Romo 4 for 4 on field goals, and he won the game. Well, they're even if McCarthy were upright and ready to go at that time, there may have been some hubbub or hubbubaloo involving, this team has this record, but Darnold's a little stuck right now. Kind of did it again the next week against Tennessee, except the Titans couldn't catch the ball like the Jaguars caught it. And there, at least from yours truly or 9 to noon, there wouldn't have been any. You have to inject the kid. He never was playing. He never was going to start into the first game. And Darnold, until those final two, specifically one, represented quite well. This is a different situation until it's not a different situation. And Carson Wentz has an opportunity to make it a tricky conversation. Personally speaking, I'm hoping he makes it a tricky conversation because that means he's playing incredibly well and they're happy with him. And players around him are responding. That's the key. Players around him responding. And if that's the case, it'll be a tricky conversation, one for which 9 to noon will be prepared.
Hey, PA. Hey, Nordo. I just wanted your thoughts. Say Carson Wentz and the offense get it together this week. Say they go 3-0.
Yeah.
The fans are going to want him to stick with Carson Wentz, but I fear they're going to be forced to turn it over to the young kid again. What are your thoughts on that?
Is that hyperbolic or hyper accurate?
I think he is. He's hyper accurate in the regard that I think they should go back to JJ. Do you believe that they're forced to, PA? Because I don't. While you were laughing at me saying I'd rather lose with JJ than win with Wentz, which is fine. Where's your head at in terms of if they do? This is all hypotheticals. We don't deal with a type of hypothetical very often 9 to noon, and in this case maybe we're being hyperbolic, but. The idea, if this team goes 3-0 and Wentz just looks competent at this stage. The idea, 303 every game, we'd love that. But just looking competent. The offense, through 2 games has been abysmal. So it comes to life over the course of the next month. You go into the bye week, you come out, Philly's in town, but the kid's healthy. The long-term investment is healthy. And you got the Eagles in town. Are you, I mean, maybe the right answer is Wentz the entire way.
It's impossible to answer.
If JJ's healthy, I need him on the field. That's just where my head's at as a Rube.
Right. Well, I'm not stopping a roll of somebody who's going lights out. And I don't care what they think of the asset, what we saw with the asset. The asset is the asset and a future commodity at that point, but the future could still be this season. So if somebody's going lights out and the supporting cast around him is really, really flourishing and they're winning, very difficult to pull somebody off the field in that circumstance.
Well, I'm interested in what lights out.
It reminds me of 2008 and a poor decision that was made.
Oh, from Gus Frerotte back to,
Right, with Brad Childress.
Tavares, yeah.
And Brad was married to the Tavares Jackson draft pick. And, Brad listens to this radio show. And, Brad and I consider Brad, certainly a football-related acquaintance, but I've gotten to chat with Brad a lot, I'd say, over the last 3 to 6 months with some things that we've been doing. So Brad knows where my heart is. So this is not an affront, and this is not a shot. I have a right to say I think a mistake was made. When I say he was married to Tavares Jackson, the piece of clay that you can mold into some Jedi soldier. Well, when Tavares came back, Frerotte had won a fair amount of games. And the players around him, were responding to him. But they went with Tavares Jackson in the playoff game against the Philadelphia Eagles. And personally speaking, I and others thought it was the wrong move.
Yeah.
Then they played the game and it was the wrong move. That doesn't mean anything in 2025 would correlate to that. Simply because that happened doesn't mean it has to happen this way in 2025. But that would be your reference point. When 9 to noon continues, we have Vikes Bites followed by Ben Gessling from the Star Tribune on.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Would you guys consider anything less than a championship to be a failure from this year?
I wouldn't say anything is a failure, especially because we all grow every day. Obviously, the goal is a championship. There's no doubt in that, and that's the goal. We want to win a championship.
I'm Christina Williams, host of the podcast, In Case You Missed It with Christina Williams. The WNBA playoffs are here, and I've got the inside scoop on everything from key matchups and standout players to the behind-the-scenes moments you won't find anywhere else.
It's really, really hard to be the champions, but we have to remember how it feels and embrace the new challenge that we have.
For all the biggest stories in women's basketball, plus exclusive interviews with the game's brightest stars.
So to be here, I think it's one that we definitely don't take for granted. But we also know, that's just one stop along the way, and we're hoping to, make a run.
So listen to In Case You Missed It with Christina Williams, an iHeart Women's sports production in partnership with Deep Blue Sports and Entertainment on iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcasts.
KFAN.
We all remember that one teacher who made a difference, believed in us, challenged us, or just made learning fun. Well, now's your chance to say thank you in a big way with iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher, powered by Donors Choose. Nominated an outstanding public school teacher who's gone above and beyond for their students to win $5,000 to stock their classroom with whatever they need. Today's teacher is Marcy Anderson, who teaches at Hennepin Middle School, who folks told us has created a food pantry in her room so the middle school students don't go hungry, and that she tailors her instruction for her special education students so that it matches what the other middle school students are learning. Help us say thank you to educators shaping our future. Nominate your favorite teacher now at iHeartRadio.com/teachers.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the House of Pain. I'm Paul Allen. Eric Nordquist guides Vikes Bites. It's sponsored, and here they are.
Vikes Bites is always presented by Thousand Hills Lifetime Grazed Grass-Fed Beef.
Pain.
And you can shop online. A box of meat will show up at your doorstep. You can go to Kowalski's and Coburn's locations, your local co-ops as well. They're proud sponsors of Gophers Athletics. And after the weekend, maybe everyone's feeling a little pain with their favorite football teams. Half of the presser with the head coach addressing the media yesterday, PA, of course, a little bit on the game and all of those things. The quarterback's going to be out for a spell here. Enter Carson Wentz, the no-dak kid. Looking forward to him hopefully beating the Bengals this weekend. But it was also just kind of everyone that's hurt, and you have thematically placed in the idea that this is becoming the House of Pain.
The House of Pain.
And it's brutal. With that said, who are you if you could pick one? Again, with the hypotheticals, hyperbolic or hyper-accurate, but this one, I think this is easy.
I mean, with the single-game tickets available at advertisement, as they would say in England, you're seeing over your left shoulder. Do we have to have the Gink on it? I mean, I know the Gink sells tickets, but I miss the Gink so badly in the last game. Holy cow.
I love the Gink. I miss the Gink.
I love Andrew.
Are we supposed to buy tickets, or what are we doing here with this ad, by the way? Anyway.
No, it's tied to Vikings.com. I think it's the Vikings.com audio app.
So as I'm looking at the depth chart of the Minnesota Vikings, and on this particular, I use a site called Our Lads.
Oh yeah,
which has usually up to the freaking second. It feels like correct depth chart situations.
Oh
with
wow!
The team.
See, I think of Our Lads with like college steam into the draft and stuff.
Yeah, and they do some of that. I think it's a great website. In fact, not sponsored by Our Lads, sponsored by Thousand Hills. But the names of those that are injured are in red. So if you could pick any of these to come back and they were healthy and slot them into their spot, would it be?
So am I wishfully thinking or am I predicting?
How about a wishful thought? And then maybe we just kind of sum up where we think our heads are at with this. I mean, this is a freaking laundry list, my brother.
I got you.
Of course, Justin School with the concussion. Christian Darrisaw with the knee. Ryan Kelly with the toe and now the concussion. Beloved JJ. Austin Keys. Don't think about him, but his name's in red. Van Ginkel, the Hitman, or show us what you can do, Jeff Okuda.
Jeff Okuda. Welcome to the House of Pain.
I mean, listen to the names like Gabriel got nicked up.
Did you put Jones in there?
I didn't. Yeah, Aaron Jones, with the hammy. Hey, what's up, Our Lads? His name's not in red yet.
Yeah.
But then Jonathan Grenard
Our
with the
Lads
oblique
might be a poor man's Athlon.
Yeah, it might be a little bit. Athlon aggregating like 10-year-old articles, thinking that they're fresh. But all the same.
Wait, I got a better one. Our Lads might be a poor man's Walter Football. I mean, never have people / yours truly looked at Walter Football up to a draft so much as the last 5 years.
Yeah.
But then I always end it going, who's Walter?
Yeah, I want to meet Walter.
I want to know why have we never had Walter on, and is your last name Football?
And maybe listeners, maybe I'm the only one that's ever experienced this. You go deep diving on Walter Football, your computer will freeze and shut down.
Yes.
I don't know what the code situation is with that website.
It might be a big bot.
But if you get 2-3 tabs open from Walter Football, your computer is bleeped. Much like the health situation of our favorite football team right now. If there was one guy you're just like, man, I'd like to see him on the field. Let's take JJ out of this. That'd be the A topic for me.
Yeah.
The quarterback always. But just one guy, it's like, man, I miss Gank. Man, Hitman. We need to see you here. Darrisaw, let's anchor that left side of the O-line. Is there one guy that is just like, I need that guy back in the mix, back in the covenant and healthy?
Well, see, I mean, Christian Darrisaw and Andrew Van Ginkel, well, I think they have equal importance.
Yeah.
You know, it's a 51-49 if we really got to get dumb like that.
For their respective units.
Thank you. It was conspicuous not having Andrew Van Ginkel in the game this weekend.
Agree totally.
So the Gink is an energy guy too, and you know people around Andrew Van Ginkel respond because of what he does and how good he is, and he's an energy guy. Now Darrisaw allegedly / reportedly, supposedly, or probably is one of the 3 to 5 best left tackles in the National Football League. So they found a way to win 14 without him last year through a fair amount of big spot games, and they're 1-1 without him so far. When the scribe joins us around the corner about 8 minutes from now, one of the questions, if I get to it, involves Christian Darrisaw and practice and scratches and things like that. So it would be Darrisaw and Van Ginkel. Now, the running game without Aaron Jones and the catching prospects of Aaron Jones. This is not to say Jordan Mason can't catch. It's just through 4 seasons and change of playing a lot of plays offensively for very smart head coaches. We have 0 catching touchdowns. The receiving long for Jordan Mason is, I believe, 24 long for Jordan Mason. So you can read between the lines there. So now we watch back young JJ's plays, as we shared yesterday, from the first quarter, first half of the Falcons game. Well, now the rush was on him because somebody beat O'Neal, and Leonard Floyd was unblocked, but I believe unblocked by design. And he actually stopped, because he's like, 33's running out there. And Jefferson, as we said yesterday, was 10 yards down the field blocking his booty off. So the play was supposed to go that way. It would have been an Aaron Jones touchdown. I think O'Connell referenced it in the press conference yesterday without saying names. So Jones does that. Can Mason do that? Can Xavier Scott is a converted wide receiver. Xavier Scott can catch.
He can.
He's not as fast as Aaron Jones, but he can catch.
What do you think about his other aspects of his game from a pass protection standpoint, or chipping a guy, moving out into the flat to receive a pass? Frankly, there's just not a big enough sample size to predict that.
The only sample size that comes to mind for me was in the Houston Texans preseason game, and he encountered a blitzing Texan, and he just kind of stood there and put put your fists up by your sternum and outstretch your elbows. All right. So like a metaphorical, blocking situation you would show. And he just kind of stood there and pushed the guy. So it's not like he met him, bam, and then teacupped him and knocked him on his butt. So it wasn't great. It wasn't terrible, but that's the only thing that I've seen with it. I do want to apologize to this would be FELA, Fairness and Love Covenant Apologetic Act. I didn't spend a lot of time watching Xavier Scott's pass protection in the New England Patriots joints or during the course of the training camp endeavor. And I should have, because that question is vital right now. And damn it, I don't have the answer.
Hey, it doesn't matter until it means everything, PA.
Right.
And it could mean something this Sunday as Xavier Scott potentially in the backfield with Carson Wentz.
Vikes Bites. Yeah.
Who? It is Thousand Hills Lifetime Grazed Grass-Fed Beef.
Beef. Around the corner, Ben Gessling, Star Tribune, StarTribune.com. Weekly component, 9 to noon. Very, very smart young man. This is courtesy of Standard Heating and Air. And Ben Gessling, the scribe, will join us at the House of Pain, Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center, when we continue into the second hour on FM 100.3 KFAN.
This is Julian Edelman from Games with Names. Applebee's just cooked up the ultimate option play with their new Ultimate Trio deal. You can choose from 3 of their delicious appetizers and pair them up with 3 sauces for just $14.99. Craft your perfect trio from over 80,000 different combinations in this flavor-packed plate built for one, or to share if you're generous. You could stick with the classic pairings like boneless wings and buffalo sauce, or you could spice things up and try some unexpected combinations like dipping chicken wonton tacos in their honey Dijon mustard. It's time to head to your neighborhood Applebee's or order online today. That's eating good in the neighborhood. This is Julian Edelman from Games with Names. Football is back. That means it's tailgate time. And this season, the only meat I'm going to grill is Dietz and Watson. I'm loving the Black Angus Dietz dogs. They're flavor-packed, and you can tell they are made with the highest quality ingredients. Sundays just got a whole lot better. Visit DietzandWatson.com/therightway to learn more about the Dietz difference.
In the heat of battle, your squad relies on you. Don't let them down. Unlock elite gaming tech at Lenovo.com. Dominate every match with next-level speed, seamless streaming, and performance that won't quit. And push your gameplay beyond limits with Intel Core Ultra processors. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel Inside. Maximize your edge by shopping at Lenovo.com during their back-to-school sale. That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo. This episode is supported by FX's The Lowdown, starring Ethan Hawke. Allow us to introduce you to Lee Raybon, a quirky journalist / rare bookstore owner / unofficial truth seeker who is always on the tail of his latest conspiracy. This time, his most recent expose puts him head-to-head with a powerful family that rules Tulsa, meaning only one thing. He must be on to something big. FX's The Lowdown premieres September 23rd on FX. Stream on Hulu.